Welcome back to another video. This is the Lightning Z Gundam from 2015. This, I feel like, is a controversial mobile suit. Because this is from Build Fighters, the person who designed this removed the transformation gimmick from the actual Zeta Gundam and basically left it like this, which also has the pistons right there. But as an Iron Blooded Orphans fan, I saw the pistons and I had to get it. Because I actually like when my Gundams have their frame showing. But that might just be me. Anyways, moving on to the appearance, and it already fell backwards, okay. Moving on to the appearance, there is a large, or not, I guess it's not too large, but there is a massive sticker sheet here, which I clearly did not use all of that. Number 1 is for the eyes, obviously. Number 5, 6, 7, and 8. 7 and 8 are for the head cameras and rear camera, but the 5 and 6 are for the sight for the rifle here. That might not be a rifle. It looks way too long to be a rifle, but I don't know the names of every weapon. But yeah, so there are... This is a very detailed Gundam, I would say. There are pistons here that are all in one color. The top part is painted with acrylic silver, and that fell off. I'll get to that in the articulation, I guess. There are quite a bit of panel lining areas that you can do, like all over this. I even touched up some areas up here. My voice is going out. But there are a lot of panel lining areas, especially on the legs here. A lot of them. I will say, these little fin flaps right here, they like to wiggle a lot on both sides. One of them, I don't remember which one it was, but one of them kept popping out. So I think it was this one actually. I did glue it a tiny bit, but it still wiggles. But it stays in a lot more now. So I'm not sure if that's an issue for everyone, but just beware that these little fin flaps might pop off sometimes if you don't fix them. But there is that. Especially the backpack here has that very interesting design with the little extra flap here, and this part just fell off. Okay. You know what? I guess that brings me to the articulation. These are held on by polycap ball joints, so they are not the best. Like, these are just a ball joint and a cylinder hole. This is not like, how do I explain this? This is not, it won't click in, basically. There's no sound, it just slides right in, which I don't understand why they did that, because this is just a cylinder hole, so it's not going to stay all the time. You do have a swivel right here. I'm actually not really sure why that exists. You have a swivel here as well, and you have a swivel here like that. That's on both wings. Moving down to, well, actually, there is a swivel here that goes down and up like so, and that's pretty much it for that backpack area. So moving on to the head, there is a typical, not a typical actually, but I think it is still a ball joint up top and a ball joint on the bottom, but it is a plastic neck here. It's not a polycap. It just slots in like that. it can look up that far, and it can look down that far. It cannot do the full 360 head spin because of the collar that gets in the way there. But it does have some basic motion right there. Moving into the chest, there is a polycap here, ball joints. This doesn't really move much, but this white section here, it's actually off-centered from the actual shoulder joint. So something you can do is actually mix match both of these white sections. You can flop them around, and that can actually change the position of the shoulder arm to be this far back or a bit more forward, which I do like the option of having, because having them all the way back, like this is normal right here. That's as far back as it goes. And when I first built this, I was wondering if this would clash with the backpack, and in my opinion, it does. It does clash with the backpack when you try to move it around and stuff like that. So you can swap this onto the other side, and you can actually get the arm to be more in line with where the head is, so you do have a tiny bit of extra clearance there. But you do get a full 360 rotation there. Shoulder armor does not move, well, especially because it clashes with the white bit, but it does slightly go out like that far. The arm can move up that far. That's really sad. That's actually really sad. Oh, you do get a little flap here as well in the shoulder armor. You get a 360 degree rotation up there on the bicep. You also get another 360 degree rotation down at the forearm, and that's rotating the entire thing. Okay. You do have a double jointed elbow bend, which is what we like to see. And you do have you do have your typical ball joint style wrist, which is self-explanatory. And that popped off on me, I don't know why. Maybe I was handling it a bit rough. There's no functionality in the torso. There is a polycap ball joint down there though that leads to the waist, but the entire chest itself and around the piston area is stationary. It does not move like Iron-Blooded Orphan's chest. Like in Iron-Blooded Orphan's Gundam, they have that little ab crunch. This does not have that. Moving down to the waist, front skirts can go up that far because of this bit that's blocking it for some reason. But they can go down that far. They don't really go much anywhere. You can get a full 360 degree spin with the side skirt here, but it will get in the way of this shoulder bit right there. But it can do the full 360. The rear flap is, I don't think it's supposed to be moving. Okay, yeah, I don't think that moves. But moving down to the legs here, it can kick up that far. Can it go? I guess I can go up that far. It can go up that far, and it can go back that far. You can do a 360 degree spin at the upper thigh. Full split. No, you can't really do the full splits because the armor would clash with that blue section right there. So that's basically as far as it can go. But you also get a you have a two jointed knee bend. We have one joint right here and one joint here, which doesn't get you too far, but that's as far as it goes. And for the ankle here, you do have a ball joint down there, so you can get that far going outwards, and you can get this far going inwards. And that there is a piston detail in there that I did paint with silver acrylic. Oh, okay, this is the leg that I said that I glued this on, and it still came out. Crazy. But forward lean, it can go that far, not very deep, that's not very good. But it can go up, it can go forward that far, and backwards, it can go that far, which is pretty good. But that is that for the articulation. Now moving on to the accessories. I might not show off that, I'm just going to leave this off, actually. This is hassle. I don't think I'm... Oh, one thing that I want to mention. You can actually move, because these sections are attached by a square hole. You can actually, like, move... You can switch these around and, like, basically have the ball joint orientated outwards, so you can actually have the wings spaced outwards or closer in. So there's that. I guess I'll put these back on. But moving on to the not articulation, the accessories. You have 2 effect pieces, which is for that transformation thing that I mentioned earlier. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, actually. But you rotate this all the way like that, and then you rotate like that. You put the effect in. I guess I'll do that for both of these. I guess in a way I am showing you that transformation thing that I was talking about. But I don't think I'll put it in the pose. But you have this little tab right here. Polycap tab. That's not a polycap, actually. That is a plastic part, but it does peg into the side of the arms. So you do have like this strange wideness to it. Just like that. And he would also, okay, so basically he would also be holding this thing in his hand and basically point it straight at you while having the wings fold inwards. Is it on the manual? It is, okay. This right here is what that looks like. But I think I'll have the time to actually show it. So there is a swivel right here for for this bit right here. The handle does fold down. This part rotates for some reason. I don't know why. It feels kind of useless. But there is a peg slot here, which is actually why these bits on the back have slots right here. If I can show it, there it is, right? Those slots right there. You can actually peg those in, and as well as the rifle, you can also do the same on the other side. You have a rotation here, which it can only go about that far. Any further, and it will just basically pop out. Well, if you can get over that little bump. But it can go all the way up that far, but if you... There's a little section there that kind of doesn't friction well. I don't know what I just said there. But this back part of the handle, it can go all the way up. This part of the handle can fold in, and that can close, and that will be for attaching to the back. There's also this rotating part up here as well. getting it into the hand is your standard sandwich style hand. I will mention that the panel on the back of the hand right here is actually interesting to me because it's not your typical style of hands. This actually opens up and it's just a circle peg. It's just a circle peg. So there is that. Basically, this is what it would look like if the rifle was attached to the back. This actually does allow it to rotate right here. So you can actually get it to rotate quite a bit like that. I guess I should just show it anyways. So there it is, it's actually attached. And it can go about that far forward, which is really cool. I'm just going to remove these bits for now. But, well, actually, I guess it's best to actually show off the entire thing. So let me just get everything situated. Which will take a bit. Sandwich style hand. That's on backwards. And you just close that up like so. And plop that back in. I will say, this does not hold very well. If I hold it, it is... The rifle is not... It still wiggles quite a bit. It's not a firm grip. But there is that. You can also use this peg right here to also store it on the side of the arm. And I also like to store, this is how I store the wings, just like this. And I just put these back on. Oh wait, I forgot to close the tab. Don't forget to close the tab if you're going to put the wings back on to the back. So there is that. I want to try and get this on. And the back of the hand just fell off. Okay, you know what? This is taking longer than I would like. I'll just leave it like that. So, it is a bit weak in some areas. But let's move on to the comparisons. I also did forget the sticker sheet here. That is all of the stickers. Eye cameras. The eyes. The 5 and 6 are the stickers for the sights on the rifle here. Or I keep calling it. It doesn't. Is this a rifle? It doesn't look like a rifle, but it also kind of feels like one. Number 7 and 8 are for the front and rear head cameras, and the rest of the stickers are either vents or giant red stickers for somewhere else on the body. But, size comparisons. Here is the RX-78-2 and the G-Fred, which will be in the next review that I do. The high-grade G-Fred, so... There is that. Here, the Lightning Z Gundam is quite big, I guess. Here it is compared to the Narrative Gundam. So, almost the same height. Or, actually... Okay, Narrative Gundam is taller, which is crazy. But there is that. And... this kit, I believe, is actually from the Zeta series. Here is the O. So there it is compared to that. And this does not get enough attention or love from me, so I might do a video on this at some point. probably after the G thread. So stay tuned for this one. But yeah, so that is the high grade Lightning Z Gundam. I would pose this. I mean, it poses really fine, but parts will fall off, and I'm kind of tired of it. But do I recommend this? Yes. For the most part, I do recommend this. But there are some issues, like this piece falling off, the flap here falling off. These will not hold because they're ball joints in a cylinder socket, which makes no sense. The side skirts can fall off on you. The hand here, I think because I think because it's a circular peg in a hole, that's like the only attachment. I think that's one of the main reasons why it's loose and likes to fall off. But other than that, I think that's all I have to say for it. So, I mean, it's a nice and unique Gundam because of, well, in my opinion, because of the pistons and stripped down detail that it has. The little bits of frame that shows through. If you're into that stuff, I highly recommend this. But there are those minor issues that I think you should watch out for. So, other than that, that's it for this review. Stay tuned for the next review when I do the G-Fred from the G-Click series. So, there is that. And I'll see you guys in the next one.